In today's video, we'll be taking an unboxing, an overview, and we'll be having a PC build of the Cooler Master TD300 Mesh. So I was browsing Amazon, Amazon UK, and basically this came up for only £45 actually. And I just thought, wow, for a micro ATX case from a very established manufacturer of Cooler Master, to get a case this good and this good quality with the two ARGB fans at the front as well, and also a ARGB controller at the back as well, which can handle up to 4 ARGB fans. I thought for £45 that's a real bargain. So yeah, I thought we'd get this down and take a look at it. This isn't going to be part of the sort of series where I spend £250 per month and we kind of build up one PC. I'm going to exclude that from this, but I am going to use that PC, the components that we had from that PC in this build. So obviously it'll be this is the new case, and then obviously the other components will be transferred over, but although I'm swapping the power supply as well. But anyway, we'll have more on that. We'll chat more on the power supply decision and what have you later on, because basically well, I'll explain later anyway. Yeah, so the Cooler Master TD300 Mesh unboxing. Basically, a little bit of a quick overview before we unbox it. Like I said, two ARGB fans at the front, which are 120mm. A nice mesh at the front as well for better airflow. Tempered glass as you'd expect with the PSU shroud. Kind of a standard micro ATX case, really. The styling's quite nice, I think. It does look quite good. And it's got the ARGB hub at the back, which is great, and support for big graphics cards too. So yeah, without further ado, I think just go to the unboxing. And so here's the case, guys, and first impressions, what do you guys think? I mean, yeah, I mean, styling wise, styling wise, I really like it personally. Like I say, it's kind of this whole like diagonal mesh, and it's kind of all, you know, it's kind of funky, it's kind of new and kind of cool, and I kind of like that. It's got a nice little instruction manual as well, which is really good for first time builders, and I think a lot of people who are probably going to buy this case are probably going to be a first time builder, or I mean, you could be an experienced builder as well, but this is the sort of case that probably a lot of first time builders are going to have, so having a nice instruction manual is really good there. So yeah, if you haven't seen my sort of case overview videos, basically I just go around the case and I just talk about it, and then we'll have that PC build, and then obviously we'll have a conclusion, or whether this is a thumbs up for a buy or a thumbs down for a no buy. So basically, like I said, I do think the mesh front is actually really nice. I'm gonna struggle to see it because it's actually quite a long case as well, so I'm struggling to see it at the front there without obviously getting it on the camera. But nice and decent branding here as well, with the Cooler Master logo at the bottom there. I mean, some people might not like that, but I think that's okay. It's kind of stealthy enough. As I said, behind here there's the two 120mm ARGB fans pre-installed for you, so that's really nice. And now I believe in terms of the front fan support, I think it can fit 3 120mm fans, but I'll put it down below if not. And I think it can also fit 2 140mm fans as well. And in terms of radiator support, I think you should be able to get a 240 and a 280 in here. But I do think a 360 is going to be a bit too small. But I'll put it below as well for the radiator support. But yeah, I think again, I think the front quite nicely done. This also pulls out from the bottom, so you can get to your fans and what have you, nice and easy. But yeah, let's move on to the top now. So the top is quite nice. Not really a lot going on here, but that sort of mesh is actually here, and it isn't actually a removable dust cover. So it's kind of like a dust cover sort of integrated into the mesh. So that's kind of quite nice. And the support at the front, the support at the top is 2 120mm fans or 2 140mm fans. Now I do believe you can get radiators of 240 and 280 up there as well, so that shouldn't be a problem for you. I mean, it does look like there's lots of clearance actually at the top, so that's really good. And then the front I/O is pretty standard, I would say. A reset button here, very tiny, but it's enough for you. A separate headphone and microphone jack, which is actually really nice to see. the big clicky power button, which is always nice, and the two USB 3.0 ports there for you as well. So pretty much standard. You don't obviously get the, well, there's also a hard drive LED indicator there as well. You obviously don't get the USB C support at the front panel there, but again, for this sort of budget case, I don't think people are really going to care about that, so I think that's fine. So as I said, quite a big, large amount of space there at the top for your motherboard, from your top of your motherboard to your top of the case. So fitting radiator should be fine. A big, well, not big, but it's 120mm rear fan support, which is pretty standard. Obviously, there's no rear fan actually there, which is a little bit of a downside. I would have liked to have seen Cooler Master actually included that fan at the back there as well. So you've got the two at the front and the one at the back, which are all would have been all hopefully ARGB too as well. That would have been better, but it is what it is and it's fine. It will do. You can always add one as well, because obviously the ARGB fan controller at the back as well, which I'll show you. Then we do have two snap-offs at the bottom here, and also two removable PCIe blanking plates, so that's fine. For most people that's going to be perfectly fine. And you can fit up to 4 PCIe devices up there, basically 4 slots. And obviously the PSU cutout is there at the bottom. Now the fan for the PSU can go up, facing the top, or it can go at the bottom, so facing the bottom, facing your desk basically. Fan side up or fan side down basically. So yeah, that's really good support as well, so that's good to see. So the back panel here comes off pretty simple, and it's actually 2 captive thumb screws as well, so that's actually nice to see as well. Just you know, adds that little bit more quality to the case, doesn't it? So you get all your screws and like brackets and what have you, and anything else in there. Some cable ties as well, so that's all good. Plenty of room for very big power supplies, so that's fine. And also this drive cage is removable as well. Let me see. Oh no, it's just one screw here at the bottom, which you just need to take out, and then the drive cage will actually come out like that, so that's great. So we have our ARGB hub here. That will take 4 ARGB fans. It's basically the actual ARGB connector itself, that sort of 5-volt 3-pin one, and also a 3-pin power connector, so like to actually power the fans as well, so that's good. And we already have those 2 which are pre-installed into the hub already, so if you want to add another 2, it's very easy to do so. And also it does actually have a pass-through to a motherboard, so you can plug into your motherboard your 5-volt 3-pin addressable ARGB header, so that's nice as well, from the actual fan hub itself. Then we also have the SATA power cable to actually power that fan hub, so that's good. It's good to see that rather than Molex. We don't like Molex here. And we also get a 3-pin fan header to plug into your motherboard as well, so you can control the speed of those 4 fans in that fan hub, so that's great as well. We then get your usual hard drive LED power switch and the power LED connectors, those fiddly connectors, that's pretty standard. We have a HD audio, which isn't fully blacked out, but it's okay, that'll do. And we do have our USB 3 connector as well, so you don't have to muck around with one of those USB 2 connectors either for slightly cheaper cases. Now the SSD support is basically 2 SSDs here, and I believe you can get 1 SSD up the top there, and you can also get another 2 hard drives in there, so you should have about between 4 to 5 drives in total for this case. So that's pretty decent support for a micro ATX case, I must say. It's also nice to see grommets here as well, because that just kind of cleans up that cable management, so you can't see the cables at the back. So again, just a nicety that we like to see. And for a £45 case, this is really looking really promising at the moment. I'm also glad to say that the cable management space is very ample. I mean, you've probably got at least 2 to 3 centimeters there. Actually, I'd actually say you've got a full inch at the back there of cable management space. So that's actually really good as well. And there's obviously plenty of holes to route your cables through as well, so that's great. There's also 2 captive thumb screws here for the tempered glass front panel, and then it just slides off all the way, I think. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that slid off a bit weird, but anyway, we got there. I think it was just a slide off one like that, but it just didn't seem to kind of move very much there, but anyway. So yeah, really spacious case here actually, and for graphics cards it's 344mm support, so about 13 inches, which is really good to see. And for the CPU tower coolers, at least 165 centimeters, but I'll put it exactly below. I think it was about 160 or 165. I'll put it exactly below the exact measurements there. So again, really great support there for air coolers. And actually looking at it now, I didn't actually spot this, but in the PSU shroud, we actually do have an additional 2 SSD caddy areas as well. So you've got the 2 here on this shroud, you've got the 2 at the back of the motherboard, and obviously I think there's 2 at the actual in that drive cage area as well. So that's really good support to see actually. So again, I do think like the general layout's great. There's a big massive CPU cutout here as well, so really good here, guys. Also in the basement as well, there's a good cutout area there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on camera, hopefully, but there's a good cutout area there. So if you've got like big radiators, you'll be able to fit big radiators in there, no problem, because there's plenty of room in that cutout, so that's fine. Now apparently as well with the top, you can actually take it off, which is a bit of another sort of plus. I do think there's 2 screws there, and this comes off, but again, I think for most people they're not going to need to take this off when they're building, but it might be good if you want a little bit of extra space. But anyway, I think that's enough chatting now, and I think really we just need to move on to that PC build, guys, so let's go. So this is the build. First thing we're going to do is just prep the case, so we don't actually need these 2 standoffs, so these will come out. And now the rest of the standoffs are actually all in place, so that's all good. Basically we're going to need 2 and 3, slots 2 and 3 for our PCI Express, so let's take out this one. And like I said, basically 1 and 2 have got the removable covers, but the non-removable covers are on 3 and 4. So you'll just have to snap out 3. So that's pretty much our case prep now. Let's get onto the motherboard. Now yes, I need to mention, basically, we've had a little bit of an upgrade on our motherboard. So first of all, let's put in this in, and then put the I/O shield in, then we'll talk about it. So basically we've gone up to a Ryzen 5 5600 over a Ryzen 5 4500. So not a massive upgrade, but it's okay. And it's pretty much the build that we've been using for about the last month or so. So we'll just slot in pretty comfortably here, hopefully. Yeah. Like I say, just line up all the ports on that side, and then it fits in quite snug. And then obviously just check all your all the screw holes actually do match up, and everything's good on that sense, which we look to be good here. Now Cooler Master use these like hard drive type screws. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick that up on the camera there, but for some reason they use that for the motherboard, so we'll just have to go with that. I'm not really sure, it's only Cooler Master that seem to do this, so it's a bit odd. And usually I start with the top left first of all. And then go to the bottom right, and then bottom left, top right, and then the 2 in the middle. It's all pretty simple. So for the next part, we're gonna remove the hard drive cage, and then we'll install our power supply. That screw is a little bit more harder to get out, so anyway, but we got there. And then that cage just comes out pretty simple, just slides out there. So we have our trusty Corsair RM750. Basically, this is because we're going to have, drum roll guys, the RX 9060 XT 16GB. Going to begin this PC soon, probably in a few weeks' time, but we'll see that anyway, guys. So nice and easy, drop the power supply in. So now what we want to do, now we've plugged the power supply in, just grab our CPU cable and feed that up to the top there. I do apologise if you're not going to be able to see it too much on camera, guys, but unfortunately I'm working with what I've got here, so yeah. Basically all the excess cables will just be junked at the bottom here, because we don't need them. Just got that one SATA connector for the actual hub as well, so we'll just plug that in. We're not running any PCIe graphics card cables, obviously because we've got a very weak graphics card. It doesn't actually need one, so that is what it is. And the only thing I will say about this case, there is actually a cable management hole there, but the cable management at the back here, there isn't actually that many tie downs as what I thought there was, so that's a little bit of a downside. But again, this is all closed off, and even with rubber grommets as well, so you're not really going to see much back here, so that's fine. I think that'll be fine. So we'll run most of those cables. Let's get to the front now. Again, guys, you can take this off and this will come off, but I think there should be more than enough space to get to the top there, so it should be fine. Yeah, more than enough space to get my finger down there, so that's not a problem. There we go, that's nicely installed. Just cable managing that a little bit. Audio. And then just the USB 3. That's in. just going to plug in our CPU fan for our ARGB there as well. And then it's simply just onto the graphics card, so pretty much very simply just slot it into the slot. Make sure the little connector's down. Sorry if I'm hitting my head on there. Never mind. Yeah. There we go, nice slotted in there. And then we just forgot to put our stick of RAM back in. As you can see with the cable management, you don't really need to do much at all here because everything's kind of blacked out at the back here. So I'm pretty much just going to leave it as it is really. But yeah, that's the build done. Here it is, the Cooler Master TD300 mesh PC build. And what do you think, guys? I think it's come out alright, eh guys? So yeah, pretty easy build really. Really easy. Cable management was perfect. Plenty of room in the back there. Love the cable grommets as well to kind of hide your cables. That really made cable management really easy, and everything kind of was behind the motherboard tray as well. Even like the the front panel and everything, it all goes behind the motherboard tray quite well, and it's quite hidden. So for a first time build, I think this case really would be perfect, and I really do highly recommend the case as a first time builder case. Now the front might be not to everyone's taste, but for me I think it's quite nice. I think it looks quite good and kind of modern, and that sort of sleek look, so I quite like it anyway. Obviously big graphics card support as well in this case. Although we're obviously using a really tiny graphics card, but never mind. Hey guys, we will be getting, like I said, the RX 9060 XT 16GB in hopefully next week's video, if not the week after. So obviously please subscribe for that, because that will be a bit of a baller of a video. And I'm hoping it's going to really, get the subscribers up for that video and get the views up for that video. So that would be really good. Now we only are using a Ryzen 5 5600 here as well, so that's probably going to bottleneck that graphics card a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, coming back to the case now, I do think obviously again this PSU straw is really nice. There's actually really loads of room for SSDs as well. Sorry that I didn't actually install one of the SSDs. Basically it's like there's like 4 rubber grommets, and then it kind of goes into these little holes, and then you just kind of screw the drive in. Well, you've got like these 4 little prong things, and it goes in. If people really want it, and then obviously just comment below, and I can do kind of an add-on if you want. I just think most people are going to go M.2 nowadays, so even showing the SSDs isn't really that much of a bother. And I think the days of the 3.5-inch hard drive are kind of gone now, aren't they? So I don't really think much people are going to do that. But yeah, my conclusion for this case is very much a thumbs up, a buy. I mean, now obviously there is a bit of a caveat to that. I only paid £45, which is obviously an absolute bargain. But when I looked recently, it's probably gone up to about £70 now. Now it's sort of the £60 to £70. I think there's actually probably better cases on the market. They've recently released the NZXT H3, which is £65, although you don't get the ARGB fans, so that's something to think about. Certainly at sort of £60 to £70, this isn't probably worth it, but certainly if you can get it for under £50, I certainly would buy it for that price. But overall, I think everything is absolutely great in this case. The only downside for me, anyway, is that there's no rear fan pre-installed for you, so you will have to either source that yourself or just leave it blank, like I've done in this build. That's the only thing I would probably criticise in this case, not having that rear fan. So the two at the front with the one at the back of those RGB fans would have been really, really nice. But you can't get everything in life, hey guys. No. But yeah, overall, everything else was really, really positive in this case. Great clearance for CPUs, great clearance for graphics cards, loads of room in the PSU basement as well. Stuffing all those cables in there was nice and easy, not a problem. I would remove the hard drive cage because, again, not many people are going to use that, so there's not really much point having it in there. Again, if you really needed to, you can actually take this off. There's two screws here and this top bit that comes off, but I think for most people, they're not going to even do that. So and there was more than enough room at the top of the motherboard here to actually not even remove that. So unless you're actually going to put fans at the top or a radiator, that's when you would remove it, but otherwise I wouldn't bother. And overall, like I say, this case for me is very much a thumbs up, and I really liked it personally. And the inclusion of the ARGB fans with the ARGB controller, I think, is a really nice touch. And certainly, like I say, if you can get it under £50, it's an absolute bargain and well worth it. It looks really, really nice. It's really stylish, in my opinion. And Cooler Master is a fantastic brand, and I've brought cases for them for the last 20 odd years now. So really can't complain with a Cooler Master case. You're going to get quality. So yeah, overall, if you've got a micro ATX build, I would certainly recommend this case for your little micro ATX build. And I think really that's going to wrap up the video, guys. So overall, if you liked it, please leave a like. If you disliked it, then obviously dislike it. Please comment on what you think of this case, and just how you're kind of feeling that videos are going and what have you, and the direction this channel is going and stuff like that. And please subscribe so you can obviously see that future video with the amazing graphics card that we're going to get. And overall, yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.